Engage.
He failed the option select? Oh my god. What's up guys, Ramses Esports here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about RPS and how to get better at it. We talk about RPS a lot on the channel and how the essence of Smash often boils down to an RPS, where you rely on strong options that have some weakness, which means that your opponent is going to try to counterplay them, but then you can capitalize on the weakness of that option, etc, and it kind of creates an RPS scenario. But I've never really taught you how to play the RPS, so today we're going to be looking into that, and for that we're going to be looking at some top level RPS tournaments so you can try to apply that knowledge to your Smash gameplay. So this is the video we're watching today, and before we even get into our first throw, we need to figure out something very important: the metagame. So to read your opponent appropriately, you need to understand what the meta is, because when you understand what the meta is, you understand what strong options are, and by analyzing that, you can further understand what the pros and cons of your RPS options are. So the first point of meta is to understand that men like to throw out rock. This is statistically proven. Men are more likely to throw out rock. So by definition, our most important target is to counteract our opponent from using rock. Of course, since rock is so popular, our opponent is also more likely to counterplay rock, which means paper is more likely on their end. That's where we get into our first optimal option, which is to use paper on our end. Because if they use rock, which is the most likely, then we will be able to beat them with our paper. And if they use paper, then of course we will draw. This type of coverage is what separates the great players from the good players. Of course, they could use scissors, but scissors kind of sucks, so rock and paper are better. Now, why does scissors suck? Well, we have to talk about the next level of mind games, and that is reactable options. We talk about it a lot in Smash, how it's better to react to options rather than having to read them. Well, the same is true in RPS. When you're throwing your option, your hand is a fist. What that means is that, per definition, rock is unreactable. However, both scissors as well as paper require you to move your hands, remove your fingers, and that can be reacted to. As such, rock becomes the strongest option in the metagame, being utterly unreactable. Paper becomes a lot weaker actually, because if you react to paper, you can actually adjust from rock and change quickly to scissors. As such, the rock-scissors option select is one of the most important techniques in the game. This adds a layer of execution. Can the opponent execute the rock-scissors option select? Because if so, then rock becomes the strongest option because it beats or trades with the rock-scissors option select. If they cannot, then paper becomes a lot stronger. As you can see, it's very important to read what the opponent is doing and to react to the options they're throwing, as well as test their execution to see if they can actually access the depth of their options. So yeah, keep in mind, rock is the strongest option, paper is the best coverage option, scissors kind of sucks, but it has its uses as an option select. Knowing all that, we know enough to check out the games, so let's see how these players apply all of this meta knowledge.
But his throw count is higher than Jamie's.
So you're saying fatigue could be an issue?
See, so from the get-go, we already see some awesome gameplay from David Bourne. He, from the get-go, says, let's roll. Now this is what we call conditioning, right? So you show your opponent a certain sign to make them more likely to be primed to reacting to that type of action. So in this example, let's roll implies rock, which to the opponent is going to mean, okay, maybe rock is going to be an option here. And whether Jamie is aware of that, we do not know yet. However, we do know David Bourne here is priming the option rock. Let's roll. Let's rock.
Here we go. Bourne subliminally calls for rock.
Right, so immediately David throwing out the paper, priming the rock, conditioning the opponent to use rock, and then throwing out paper, trying to beat that. But Jamie one step ahead, knew what was coming. He understood the idea behind the let's roll comments, and because of that, he picked the counter option. Of course, scissors, one of the worst options in the game. There's a possibility that he threw out the option select. We do not know yet. The footage quality is not high enough to really analyze that aspect of the game, but definitely strong by Jamie, knowing that, hey, the rock counterplay, the paper, possibly the strongest option to throw out from the get-go, one of the most likely things to happen here. At the end of the day, Jamie taking that first throw. Very, very well done by Jamie.
Language is all over it, slices paper for the point.
I think Jamie's picked up on the tell. How will Bourne handle this?
Oh, you hear him saying please to induce paper.
Engage.
Oh my god, he threw out rock against scissors. David with the... I told you guys, scissors sucks, bro. Scissors sucks, and we can see it. Jamie taking a first game win with that rock on the scissors. It's the worst option in the game. If you ever throw scissors, please reconsider. Please, please, please reconsider. This is not how you play RPS, guys. Work on your fundamentals. I don't know how David got into the title match with these type of fundamentals. He's obviously trying to prime the opponent, and I think that's awesome gameplay. And we can really see the depth of his strategy. However, against someone like Jamie, who just plays the meta, who's not really focused on reading the opponent or in turn, like, getting conditions, this type of playstyle doesn't work. So David really has to adapt here. Let's keep watching. Let's see if there's any other cool gameplay coming up.
Oh, and again, the land shark takes advantage. Jamie Langridge one set away from the title, and look, he's finally got the crowd on his side.
Bornay, the subliminal seducer, must throw flawlessly from here on in.
You can say that 3 times fast, man. Are you still mind-numbing? Bornay says sweet for scissors.
Yep, he's throwing out some more conditioning. He's throwing some more conditioning. Trying to get that scissors. I would say, so again, guys, looking at the meta, it's best to never condition for scissors. Scissors is a bad option, so even if you try to condition or prime your opponent for that option, there's very little chance that they're actually going to win. That they're actually going to want to throw that option.
Pivotal throw, to say the least. Oh, rock tie.
Okay, we got a rock tie. Very solid picks all around. Very solid picks. Jamie's still counterplaying the conditioning, right? So he knows what the opponent's trying to condition. He realized that, and now he's trying to counterplay directly. David, on the other hand, he's trying to feel out how the conditioning is landing, right? So he conditions scissors, and then rather than trying to like go all in, he throws at the rock, knowing that the opponent might try to counterplay with their own rock. So very, very solid, slower paced gameplay.
Engage.
Well, hold on, Phil stops the action.
Oh shit, yep, that was desynced. That was definitely desynced. Yep.
Yep, that's what they call working on the railroad. It's a great call.
Not a good thing. Very smart to do if you can get away with it though.
Oh, Phil has been in control.
Right, because as we can see, Jamie, while he started throwing early, he was throwing more slowly. And that extra time can give you time to react to the opponent. However, of course, not quite legal. Have to get away with that one. Good call by the referee.
Rock and roll is the message from Bornay.
Rock and roll, okay, that's quite direct,
And Jamie throws the rock.
Oh, and now it becomes a mind game. So this is where we enter the next layer, right? So David tried to directly respond to the conditioning he threw out. Didn't work out. Then he tried to adjust his approach, trying to really feel out how do these conditioning words land, right? How do I prime my opponent to react? And now, understanding all that information, he has a really good player read on Jamie, and now he knows that when he primes something, Jamie will try to counteract that. And that is exactly why he got the win right there. Going layers of Yomi layers deep into the RPS game, extremely well done. David making a comeback happen. Interesting.
But the key here is that Jamie might be overthinking. He's expecting another false tell from Bornay.
I don't know what to think from Bornay anymore. Jamie got what he was looking for.
Oh, okay, the time. Okay, interesting. Jamie using scissors. He hasn't really used scissors so far. So it's a mix-up, but it's a mix-up for a reason, right?
But he's still mind-numbing here. Asking for paper.
Engage.
And it works. He ties it up.
Yep, very well done by David. Let's get into the final set, see how this resolves. Now we know, we saw the first set, David kind of dropped it to prime the opponent, to condition the opponent, played a little bit more slow pace in the second set, but did manage to win it. Now the third set, let's see if David's conditioning worked out, or if Jamie is still a little bit too rock solid to reply to all of those priming and conditioning aspects of David's play.
Engage.
Oh, the scissors. Jamie playing a counter meta playstyle. Very rare. You don't see it often. As we said before, scissors, arguably the worst option in the game. It's just way worse than rock, way worse than paper. Has some use in an option select, but even then, you know, you're really using rock, and scissors is more of like the fallback, right? But Jamie just going straight for scissors. Very well done right there, beating out the paper. Might have been a little bit of reaction, you never know. But at the end of the day, Jamie just looking very solid right now in that 1-0 lead at set point.
What a clutch throw.
This is what it's all about, baby. These are the moments where sports legends are made.
If Jamie wins this throw, it's over. Look at the concentration.
Ready? Engage.
He failed the option select? Oh my god. Man, I have to disagree with the strategy here. David relying on that priming, relying on that counter priming, first to kind of like set up his opponent. When he noticed it failed, he used it as a mind game in and of itself, and it worked out very well for him. And I think that really was the strength of his gameplay. But it looks like he was just kind of doubting himself in that final set, and he didn't use it at all. He wasn't really saying anything, wasn't really conditioning, wasn't really showing off options. And Jamie, on the other hand, with just amazing coverage, going for some specific counterplay with the scissors, and using the coverage-based paper play style to really round out his game. Man, that was a good set. Jamie, you know, winning that title 2007, metagame was so advanced. Definitely something that we can learn from even all the way now in 2021. That was such a great match. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a lot. I certainly did. It was really cool analyzing some RPS gameplay, and I hope you can apply these fundamentals to your Smash gameplay. Guys, this was Ramses Esports. Hope to see you guys next week for another video. Stay smart.